As we move on, we're still in West Africa on the Gulf of Guinea, and we're looking at the Fang. Now, throughout Africa, ancestor veneration is particularly common. We will see and have already seen examples in West Africa. And for the Fang, this takes the form of portable reliquaries in which they would carry the bones of their ancestors. Now, the reliquary itself would also be referred to as an ostiary or bone box. And it was meant to carry these ancestors, and it sounds really disturbing today. But if you want the spirit of your ancestor to assist you in times of need, well, in their culture, they believed that you needed to keep that ancestor close. On the top of these boxes, you generally have a guardian, there to assure the safety and veneration of the ancestor stored within the reliquary. So we're looking at these guardian figures specifically, or reliquary figures, and frequently they're removed from the reliquary because they're generally collected by Western people who don't really want to carry around the bones themselves. We've got our own ideas of what happens to the dead. But these reliquaries are ideal for nomadic peoples. They're small, and once the body is nothing more than bone, it's not that heavy to carry around. And these reliquary figures can take a number of different forms. The one we're actually going to look at is this Reliquary Guardian figure. And this piece dates to the late 19th century. Now, in the late 19th century, these are frequently collected by Western, let's call them explorers, who are going to frequently collect them out of context. So, oftentimes, when these first turn up in Europe, they're completely misunderstood. What we see here is a stylized human figure, or in some cases, a head carved out of wood that would be designed to sit on this ostiary, or reliquary. The emphasis is on the head, on wisdom and spirit. The proportions are a little different. What we're seeing here is almost a homunculus, a small, perfectly formed human. So we see the proportions here of an infant, although the body is that of an adult. So imagine taking an infant and swapping its body with an adult, something like Boss Baby, maybe. And you kind of get into the same position here. This may suggest the cycle of life, the idea of growing from infancy through adulthood. And it's appropriate for a form designed to remember the deceased, because you're not remembering them simply for the last thing they did, you're remembering them for their life. Now, oftentimes these guardians not only symbolize the person in there, but they will symbolize some element of guarding the relic itself. So we'll see them armed oftentimes, in this case, with some kind of dagger in the right hand. The eyes were sometimes carved out and sometimes inlaid, as we've seen with other societies.